Chris.
How would you approach developing markets differently as a coach? If you're building a firm, building business coaching, different cultures, how would you approach developing countries, especially an Asian country like ours?
Yeah, there's two things I would say in a developing market that I would do differently. I would focus more on the training side of it because where business coaching isn't as accepted, we need to focus more on training because people already buy training, they know training, they understand training. Like doing the business plans. People know business planning. They know they should have one. Management training. If you ask any business person today about the management training, and Reggie's like the biggest on this, is you just said to them, listen, how many of your managers have actually been professionally trained? What percentage of them? And they'll look at you like, well, the percentage is 0. Okay, so that's one thing. How many of your salespeople have been professionally trained? Well, some of them have. Okay, excellent. You know what I mean? Like they just, people know that training is a part of it. And the greatest thing about our training programs is they're 6 weeks and their facilitation, 12 weeks and their facilitation, so that you build a relationship with them over that 12 weeks. And somewhere about week 7 or 8, you have a full diag with them and you move them into one-to-one or group program of coaching or something of that nature. It opens that door. The second thing is I would be focused a little more on the higher end companies. You know, if you look at our team in Indonesia, they don't charge less for coaching than our team in the US does. They just do it with a higher caliber of client, if that makes sense. You know, Ferrari doesn't sell at a different price in Egypt than it does here in Las Vegas. They sell the Ferrari for the same price across the world, and the same is true for coaching. Coaching should be positioned at $5,000 a month, but I don't ever want to hear you saying it's $5,000 a month. I want to hear you talking about it as $60,000 a year. Now you're a partner, so your coaching should be $60,000 a year. You shouldn't be less than that. 36 is what people pay for your team members. Now, if in the beginning, the first couple, you want to do them at 36, I'm not going to kill you over that, if that makes sense. But what I am going to insist is that you never charge the same for one coaching client. Whatever you charge for this one, the next one has to be higher. Whatever you charge for that one, the next one has to be higher. Like you just have to keep upgrading your number until you get to that 60 a year. Now they can pay for it quarterly or even pay for it monthly if they have to, but we talk to them about investing in their business, which is why it's an annual fee. We talk to them about installing our systems. We're installing our management system. We're installing our marketing tracking system. We're installing our... And that word install is really important so that they don't just think of it as a meeting every week where I'm not getting any value. There's no tangibility for it. Installing a system gives tangibility. Does that make sense for everybody? You know, so it's an important aspect behind it. So in some ways, my answer to you is do it exactly the same as everywhere else. I would focus a little more on the lower priced product points. But, the other thing in emerging markets is you'll find that there's more government backing for these things than there is in other markets because they just realize the need to bring that knowledge. Unfortunately, here in America, everyone thinks they know what they're doing. You know, and that's one of the challenges of doing it. The great thing about other markets around the world is that they don't believe they already know it. And if you say it's an Australian system or an American system, they kind of go, "Oh, great, we'll bring that in," sort of thing. And obviously, in some markets, you got to say, Brad's an Australian, and in other markets, you'll say we're an American company. But just depends on where you're from in the world and what the political aspects of the world are of the day.